Are you ready for one flight?
Yes. Yes.
The WNBA's Brittney Griner is a man.
That's not a woman. That's not a female. That's not even a trans person. That is a man.
Brittney Griner just elbowed Caitlin Clark and mouthed what looked like a racist slur.
Brittney Griner elbowing Caitlin Clark in a crazy way and then calling her a trash white girl.
And Brittney Griner has not commented, which I find significant. I've watched that video countless times, and it sure looks like Brittney Griner says, fucking white girl.
Caught on camera, no suspension, no fine, and now viral footage is reigniting claims that Griner may be biologically male.
Brittney Griner is, in fact, a man.
Meanwhile, Caitlin keeps getting attacked and ignored by the very league she's carrying. If you stand with Caitlin Clark, drop a comment. 100% for Caitlin.
She's the Rookie of the Year. She's 4th in the league in MVP voting.
Caitlin Clark is an absolute all-star. She is the Michael Jordan of this. This is the girl that girls have been waiting for forever.
Caitlin Clark is a rising star in women's basketball. She's pulling in crazy viewership numbers.
Caitlin Clark is the needle mover.
She is the needle mover.
She is the franchise player.
And she was the MVP. She is the main draw.
She wasn't the one who was full sprinting down the court.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
Yeah, she's so good at basketball.
Because she's that awesome person and she has like a lot of aura, so like.
What happened on that court wasn't just a hard foul, it was a public ambush. During a high-tension moment, Brittney Griner blatantly elbowed Caitlin Clark while setting a screen, sending shockwaves across the WNBA. But what made it worse was what happened next. As Griner walked away, cameras clearly caught her mouthing the words trash effing white girl.
Brittney Griner appeared to call Caitlin Clark trash and effing white girl.
The video spread like wildfire. Fans lip-read it, slowed it down, analyzed it frame by frame. And yet, the league said nothing. No fine, no suspension, not even a public statement.
The WNBA should investigate Brittney Griner's seemingly uttering profanities about white girls.
But we have heard nothing from the WNBA, absolutely nothing.
Now imagine if the roles were reversed. Imagine if Caitlin Clark had been the one to mutter, effing black girl, after getting fouled. You already know what would have happened. Breaking news, front-page outrage, career-ending headlines. But when
Brittney Griner, who I can't stand, sad that she's a Baylor grad, she called her a trash, expletive white girl. That was the lip reading. Yes, trash, white girl. Trash, blanking, white girl, is what she says.
Griner said it, crickets. Skip Bayless called it out immediately. Commentators were stunned. Even former athletes were asking, why is this acceptable when it's aimed at Caitlin Clark? The WNBA claims to stand for equality and respect.
Is the WNBA okay with one of its players saying white girl on the bench and getting caught by TV cameras saying such? I guess they are. I guess they're okay with it. Obviously, the league would very much not be okay with a white player saying black girl on the bench in anger and getting caught by TV cameras. That would be an immediate suspension, if not a career ender for said white girl.
But when the league's brightest star, who just happens to be white, is targeted with a racial slur, they go silent. The hypocrisy couldn't be more obvious. Caitlin Clark isn't just a rookie. She's 4th in MVP voting, pulling in record-breaking viewership, selling out arenas, and drawing fans who've never watched the WNBA before.
Caitlin Clark is the closest thing that they have to quality play. Caitlin Clark, the Caitlin Clark effect is very real. She is the most valuable player in the league.
She's the reason the league is relevant again, and yet she's the one being elbowed, insulted, and left unprotected.
But it is completely possible that fucking white girl was about Caitlin Clark's popularity, about her stature, about her impact on the entire league.
This wasn't just a foul, it was personal, hateful, and deliberate. And the WNBA's silence speaks volumes.
Are you ready for one flight?
Yes.
Decided to move to Russia to play for Russian basketball team because naturally Russia is so much better and is not known for its human rights violations and severe homophobia at all.
The silence from the WNBA isn't just disappointing, it's a complete betrayal of everything the league claims to stand for. Brittney Griner elbows Caitlin Clark, appears to hurl a racially charged slur, and not only does the league say nothing, they protect her, they ignore it, and the fans see it all. The same WNBA that ran a whole no space for hate campaign suddenly has nothing to say when the hate is aimed at their biggest star.
The WNBA has come out numerous times. There's no place for hate. There's no place for racism.
Let's not forget, Caitlin Clark didn't ask for the spotlight. She earned it. She became the face of the league overnight.
Caitlin Clark is the needle mover.
She is the needle mover.
She is the franchise player.
And she was the MVP. She is the main draw.
She wasn't the one who was full sprinting down the court.
Breaking college records, drawing millions of viewers, and lifting an entire sport that had been struggling for relevance.
Caitlin Clark is more mature. Caitlin Clark has decorum.
Caitlin Clark obviously is jet fuel to its popularity.
She brought in a new wave of fans, many of whom had never even watched women's basketball before. And what did she get in return? Targeted, abused, mocked, even physically attacked, all on camera.
She has been abused repeatedly. We have shown you videos, just getting elbowed, getting crushed, inbound passes where they ram into her, just absolutely abused. And there clearly is a racial element to it.
Elbows to the face, shoves during inbounds, players celebrating when they knock her down. And still, Caitlin never retaliates. She plays with class. She stays composed. She keeps breaking records. Meanwhile, Griner isn't the only one coming after her. Angel Reese reposted an image mocking Clark as running from the fade.
Image that she reposted. And the implication is, well, what it says at the top is white, I don't know, this is how they say girl, G-Y, white gal, G-Y-A-L, running from the fade, like as if Caitlin Clark is basically
a reference to getting beat down. Another layer of disrespect, another message sent, and once again, no response from the league. No accountability, no public condemnation, just silence. Even when Angel Reese accused Indiana Fever fans, Caitlin's home base, of racism, the league jumped in immediately to investigate.
Let's see an investigation into reverse racism that's going on across the league also.
It turned out the claims were completely false. And did the WNBA or Reese apologize? Of course not. But when Griner, a veteran player, uses racially charged language against Clark, there's no investigation, no media storm, no league statement, nothing. That's the double standard. If Caitlin says something controversial, it would be national news. But when players attack her, physically and verbally, it gets brushed aside.
She accused the Indiana Fever fan base of being racist. They investigated it. They said those accusations were false. The least that she could do is apologize to our great state and the fans that show up at these games and say, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Obviously, she's not going to do that. But also, Dan, why isn't the Indiana Fever apologizing to their own fan base for putting them through that, for going through those types of accusations?
He stated in part, obviously, the league would not be okay with a white player saying effing black girl on the bench in anger.
The same league that lectures about inclusion and equality suddenly looks the other way when its owner doing the damage. And the message it sends, loud and clear. If you're Caitlin Clark, a white woman, a straight woman, someone who doesn't fit the league's preferred narrative,
the league would not be okay with a white player saying effing black girl.
Griner referring quite clearly, I believe, to Caitlin Clark and a white referee as, quote, trash ass white girls.
You're on your own, but fans aren't blind. They see what's happening. They're the ones filling arenas, buying number 22 jerseys, posting clips that go viral in hours.
she's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
And she's so good at basketball.
Because she's that awesome person and she has like a lot of aura, so like.
WNBA rumors suggest Caitlin Clark will be among the first stars making $1 million annually. The most notable of which is, y'all already know who, the needle mover, Caitlin Clark.
They're tuning in to watch Caitlin, not because of league politics, but because of her greatness. And yet the league is acting like she's a problem to manage, not a player to protect. The hypocrisy is stunning. This isn't just about a foul anymore. It's about how the league treats its most valuable player. Caitlin Clark is the reason the WNBA is booming right now. And instead of standing behind her, they're allowing her to be bullied on national television, week after week.
Caitlin Clark got roughed up repeatedly by defenders throughout her rookie year last year. It was attempted bullying, trying to break her spirit, intimidate her, put her in her place, get even with her for all the attention she was getting.
If this is what leadership looks like, it's no wonder fans are furious. They're not just watching the games, they're watching how Caitlin is treated, and they're asking the same question over and over. Why is the WNBA protecting Brittney Griner and staying silent while Caitlin Clark is getting targeted? Why is the league defending the attacker and abandoning the star who's keeping it alive? The truth is, you can't claim to grow the game and protect players while actively ignoring what's happening to your biggest name. The fans know it, the media knows it, and unless the WNBA wakes up, they're going to lose the very audience Caitlin brought in.
The noise that's coming. I don't appreciate the new fans that sit there and yell racial slurs at myself, my teammates, and the people that I play against. Because, yeah, those might be opponents, but those are friends too. You know, they don't deserve that. So I don't appreciate the new fans. I think it's okay to do that.
What started as an on-court incident has now spiraled into something far bigger, something that cuts to the core of what women's sports are supposed to be about: fairness, integrity, and truth. In the aftermath of Brittney Griner's alleged racial slur and violent elbow toward Caitlin Clark, a deeper controversy has exploded across social media. Growing claims that Brittney Griner is biologically male.
That this person is not a female. Firstly, because this was actually posted to Brittney's personal Instagram. And when it comes to Instagram, they use a combination of like AI detection and plus manual surveyors, but specifically the AI detection to make sure that no explicit content ends up on the platform. So clearly whatever AI detection system was used when Brittney posted this and it stayed up for 106 weeks, was not like, oh, this is a bare female chest, we have to take this down. It obviously assumed that Brittney was male.
And whether people want to acknowledge it or not, this issue is going viral because it raises a question that the WNBA seems terrified to answer. Are women's sports still a safe space for actual women? It all started when old footage from Griner's own Instagram resurfaced, specifically a video where she appeared topless, with a completely flat chest and no visible surgical scars.
Swag you, Brittney. Let me see something real quick. Brick, thank you. Get the hell out of here, yo. Jab stepping, it's the brick. Swing and a miss. Yo, I ain't gonna fake it right now.
That this person is not a female. Firstly, because this was actually posted to Brittney's personal Instagram.
That clip was posted publicly on her verified account, and it stayed up for over 100 weeks. Here's why that matters. Instagram's AI algorithms are designed to flag and remove female nudity almost instantly. Yet Griner's video wasn't flagged. Why? Because the system, backed by machine learning and human moderators, recognized her torso as male, not female. That's not some conspiracy theory. That's how the platform works.
Brittney is a weird case. He's a man, yes, that much is obvious, but not in the way that you think. He isn't trans. He's a straight cis male who was raised as a girl and given a girl's name by his parents. His mother is the insane one. She forced him to live as a female right up through high school, filled out all of his paperwork, including BC as female, and kept the charade going.
From there, fans began looking closer. The deep voice, the square jawline, the prominent Adam's apple. the bone structure, the aggressive physicality on the court. These aren't random observations. They're biological markers that, when taken together, raise legitimate concerns. Concerns about whether Griner is competing with an unfair physical advantage in a league meant to showcase female athletes. And more importantly, concerns about whether women like Caitlin Clark are being physically and competitively endangered because of it. It didn't stop there.
Brittney Griner comes out and says, I am so sick and tired of the WNBA. It used to be a peaceful, small little thing. Now there's crowds screaming, hollering. This is disruptive. It's not allowing us to play the game. Every time we play her, there's this commotion, like this loud rumbling from the stands. Turns out it's people, thousands of them, just sitting there watching on purpose. It's very disruptive.
A viral anonymous post took things even further, claiming Griner isn't transgender at all, but rather a biological male raised as a female by his mother, who allegedly filled out all his documentation as a girl to get him into female sports. According to that account, Griner has lived as a man in every other way, from dating women to displaying male traits, but continued the charade in order to stay eligible for the WNBA. Is that extreme? Maybe. But is it believable? To a growing number of fans, it is. What makes this worse is the WNBA's total refusal to address any of it. They've gone completely silent, no denials, no transparency, no medical statements, nothing.
WNBA who are very fond of virtue signaling. But even when it comes to Brittney's exchange for like the Merchant of Death, which is insane, by the way, but had that been just like a straight white girl, my guess is that straight white girl would probably still be rotting in a Russian prison.
And that silence is fueling the fire. Because this isn't just about one player's identity. It's about the safety, fairness, and future of women's sports. Caitlin Clark isn't just any rookie. She's the most important player the WNBA has had in decades. She's the face of the league, and she's out there taking hits, getting elbowed by someone who may have biological advantages that no female athlete can match.
Brittney Griner, who was imprisoned in Russia, in a man's prison.
Brittney Griner was the one that went to Russia with some weed and got stuck in jail. And then the Obama administration traded this guy. Putin's Merchant of Death is back in the arms business, this time selling to the Houthis.
We are not talking about minor differences here. Testosterone levels, bone density, muscle mass. These are the very factors that sports leagues across the world have regulated to ensure fair play. In the Olympics, in professional cycling, even in high school sports. But in the WNBA, silence. Why? Is the league afraid of backlash? Are they protecting Griner at all costs?
Brittney was male and therefore being topless on the platform was totally fine. It did not constitute as nudity. Now, some people may speculate, okay, well, is Brittney trans?
Even if it means putting women like Caitlin in danger? Let's be real. If there's even a 1% chance that Griner is biologically male, it deserves a serious investigation. Not because of hate, not because of bigotry, but because every woman in that league, including Caitlin Clark, deserves to know they're playing on a level field. When someone elbows you, shoves you, or beats you to a rebound, you should have confidence that you're competing against someone with the same physical baseline.
Brittney, let me see something real quick. Brick, thank you. Get the fuck.
Damn.
Get the hell
Look
out
at the
of
chest.
here, yo.
That's the whole point of having separate leagues. That's the foundation of women's sports. And if that line gets blurred, if even one athlete is competing under false pretenses, the entire sport loses credibility. The fans know it. They see Caitlin Clark getting beat up on the court by someone who looks, moves, and sounds like a man.
This is really the most information I could find about Brittney Griner being in a male prison, especially when it came to publications from different sports entities.
They see the WNBA refusing to speak up, and they're connecting the dots. Not because they want drama, but because they care about fairness, about women's safety, about truth. And here's the kicker. If the roles were reversed, if Caitlin Clark had even joked about being trans or misrepresented her gender, the league would have dropped the hammer instantly. She would have been suspended, condemned, maybe even banned. But with Griner, there's this unspoken rule: protect her at all costs, even if it means hiding the truth, even if it means risking the integrity of the league. That's not equity. That's corruption. And Caitlin Clark, whether she realizes it or not, may be the biggest victim of it all. She plays fair. She works harder than anyone. She carries herself with class.
Caitlin Clark is a rising star in women's basketball. She's pulling in crazy viewership numbers.
Caitlin Clark is the GOAT.
She signed my jersey. I'm so happy. I'm crying. I'm so happy. This is the best day ever.
The jerseys, the number 22, the various styles, whether it's a T-shirt with 22, whether it's an Iowa jersey, whether it's a Fever jersey, a throwback, I mean, whatever. The amount of people in yellow 22 apparel is stunning.
And yet she's the one being elbowed, insulted, and possibly forced to compete in a system that no longer protects real women. This isn't just a sports controversy anymore. It's a moment of reckoning. Because if the WNBA won't defend Caitlin Clark, if they won't even acknowledge the truth when it's staring everyone in the face, then maybe it's time the fans do it for them. Caitlin Clark is doing everything right, breaking records, elevating the league, and playing with heart.
I love watching her score and just everything about her.
They went the extra mile just to watch her play here.
This is great news for women's basketball, period.
That's nice.
And she was shooting the shit out of it.
Of course she was.
Right, so she was shooting the shit out of it. And
she's the face of the league.
Agreed.
She's the face of the league. Agreed.
Just have nothing but great things to say about who she is as a person. Just so welcoming and so warm as an individual that she can have a conversation with anybody. She's cut from the same cloth as me in that regard. You know what? Us Midwesterners, we tend to just, accept everybody with open arms. She was so kind to my family and everyone in the suite when she came to KC. So huge fans of Caitlin Clark.
It is a mad situation just all around when it comes to Caitlin Clark, because it's very clear that she is way stronger.
Yet she's the one getting elbowed, slurred, and ignored. Meanwhile, Brittney Griner's actions go unchecked, and questions about her eligibility are met with silence. This isn't equality. This isn't progress. It's a cover-up. If you believe in protecting women's sports, if you believe Caitlin Clark deserves better, drop a comment right now, 100% for Caitlin. Let the WNBA know we're not blind and we won't stay silent.